Before we dive in, let's quickly summarize what we learned in Module 1, Chesapeake Bay TMDL Foundations. In Module 1, we introduced the foundational concepts of Chesapeake Bay restoration, with a focus on the Bay Total Maximum Daily Load, TMDL, a federally mandated pollution diet established to reduce nitrogen, phosphorus, and sediment entering the bay. Beyond explaining what a TMDL is, we looked at the historical context of the laws and regulations that led up to the TMDL, that computer models and water quality monitoring are used to assess our progress and help us devise plans to clean up the bay, and a description of the partnership approach that brings together all of the stakeholders. This foundation sets the stage for Module 2, where we'll explore what contributes to bay pollution, how those sources are tracked, and how Virginia and other states are held accountable through watershed implementation plans, or WIPs. We'll also review Virginia's progress and sector-specific load contributions. Pollution comes from various sources across the landscape, and these sources are typically divided into sectors. In the Bay watershed, excess nitrogen, phosphorus, and sediment mostly come from the agriculture sector. Think of runoff from farm fields and animal manure. They also come from the developed sector, or urbanized areas with a lot of impervious surfaces such as roads, sidewalks, parking lots, houses, and buildings. Another source is the wastewater sector, including wastewater treatment plants and septic systems. And precipitation causes airborne pollutants to fall to the ground in a process called atmospheric deposition, and is yet another source of pollutants on the landscape and bay. Finally, our natural lands like forests, meadows, and wetlands are actually considered a sink for many pollutants, or landscapes where nutrients are used for plant and animal growth. Understanding these categories helps us tailor solutions to address excess nutrients or pollutants across sectors. The first two graphs here show how the loads of total nitrogen and total phosphorus have decreased over time throughout the entire watershed. The units are in millions of pounds, and you can see the various sectors: natural, septic, wastewater, developed land, and agriculture, shown in the legend for total nitrogen on the left. Total phosphorus is on the right, and there is no phosphorus load from septic, so it's not included in this graph. The main takeaway here is that since 1985, the bay has seen major reductions in nitrogen and phosphorus loads. By 2024, 59% of nitrogen and 92% of phosphorus reductions had been achieved across the watershed. These are similar graphs, but broken down by jurisdiction: DC, West Virginia, Maryland, New York, Delaware, Virginia, and Pennsylvania. You can see that the majority of the total nitrogen loads are coming from Pennsylvania, where agricultural lands are a primary driver of these loads, while the majority of the total phosphorus loads are coming from Virginia, which is not only due to having a lot of agriculture, but also due to Virginia's high total phosphorus soil content. These graphs also show that while many states are close to reaching their interim targets for total phosphorus, there is still more work to be done to achieve the total nitrogen interim target. Drilling down further, here are two more graphs showing Virginia's progress in achieving nutrient load reductions over time, broken down by sector, as we did for the whole watershed. The wastewater treatment plants in Virginia have implemented extensive upgrades, and you can see the significant decrease in loads from wastewater over time. As of 2023, Virginia still needs to reduce over 3 million pounds of nitrogen and about 100,000 pounds of phosphorus. Despite significant progress, more work is required to meet the bay goals. The final bar on the far right of both charts shows what the Phase 3 Watershed Implementation Plan, or Phase 3 WIP, projects for loads if best management practices, or BMPs, outlined in that plan are implemented. Let's learn a little more about WIPs to see how Virginia got to those numbers. Watershed Implementation Plans, or WIPs, are the main planning tool that the jurisdictions in the Bay Program Partnership use to estimate what policies and BMPs they can implement to achieve the necessary reduction goals. These WIPs can then be fed into the Bay model to determine the number of nutrients being reduced based on the suite of BMPs and policies in the WIP. The first plans, or Phase 1 WIPs, were drafted in 2010. These were quickly built upon, and Phase 2 WIPs were developed in 2011. The Phase 1 WIPs for Virginia mainly incorporated how wastewater treatment plant permits would comply with the TMDL and lead to reduced loads. Building on those actions, Phase 2 incorporated a large data gathering effort to ensure that the land use was accurate in the model. The BMPs that have been implemented were included and ensured that the baseline loads could be calculated. The Phase 2 WIPs also took on a regional approach in Virginia, where localities and planning district commissions developed a preferred scenario based on local needs. However, the state revised the original regional plans, and the final Phase 2 WIP didn't necessarily reflect practices that could be achieved in those regions. In 2018, the Phase 3 WIP was developed, also focusing on local and regional needs. The state contracted with all planning district commissions within the Virginia Bay watershed. Virginia zeroed in on loads from unregulated development and agriculture. Many of the regulatory programs were working. Wastewater treatment plant permits were established and plants were being upgraded, and MS4 permits were in place to ensure stormwater was being treated in urban areas. Through collaboration with the planning district commissions and soil and water conservation districts, updated regional WIPs were developed to incorporate into the state WIP. Much of this work focused on how to incentivize voluntary BMP implementation. In the Hampton Roads region, the plan focused on implementing living shorelines and planting more urban trees. Localities in Hampton Roads are still implementing BMPs as a result of this plan and are continuing to do even more beyond the Phase 3 WIP, which we'll hear about in Module 3. Thank you for watching Module 2, Pollution Sources and Watershed Implementation Plans. Next, we'll discuss stormwater management in Virginia in Module 3 in our series Understanding Stormwater Management in the Chesapeake Bay.